Hey everyone, welcome back to Hoops Talk Central. Today's topic is a heavy one, but it's an important conversation we need to have. We're discussing the recent news about Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever star, and the stalking incident that has shaken not just the WNBA community, but anyone who cares about safety, respect, and accountability. Let's start with the facts. A 55-year-old man from Texas was arrested and charged with a felony for stalking Caitlin Clark. According to reports, this man sent her threatening and graphic messages through social media, went as far as driving around areas connected to her, and even made plans to sit behind her bench at a game. The details are disturbing, and it's a chilling reminder of the real dangers that public figures, especially women, face every day. This is not an isolated issue. It's emblematic of a larger problem in our society where safety for women, even those in the public eye, is often compromised. Caitlin Clark is an exceptional athlete, a trailblazer for women's basketball, and someone who should be celebrated for her contributions to the game, not forced to fear for her personal safety. What makes this story even more alarming is the broader context of how women in sports are treated. Time and time again, we've seen female athletes targeted with threats, harassment, and sometimes worse. This isn't just about a single player. It's a pattern that reveals deep flaws in how we as a society protect and support women in the public eye. Caitlin Clark's situation might be the latest example, but it's far from the only one. Whether it's Angel Reese, Dejounte Carrington, Aliyah Boston, or countless others, these incidents shine a spotlight on the ongoing challenges women face simply for being visible and successful. This situation is not just a personal attack on Caitlin Clark. It's an issue that calls for serious reflection from everyone in and around the WNBA, especially the media. We saw a lot of media coverage and public outcry when other players like Angel Reese, Dejounte Carrington, and Aliyah Boston faced threats or hateful comments. And rightfully so. But where's that same energy now for Caitlin Clark? Where are the headlines and the bold condemnations? It's frustrating to see this discrepancy, and it begs the question, why aren't we treating all players with the same level of concern and outrage when their safety is threatened? Why does it seem like Caitlin's experience has been met with a quieter response, as if her fears and trauma are somehow less urgent or less real? This is where the double standards become clear. Caitlin may not have been vocal about the harassment she's endured, but that doesn't mean she wasn't dealing with it. In fact, she had told the police that she feared for her safety and even altered her public appearances because of this man's actions. Yet, when a prominent voice like Jemele Hill assumes that Caitlin hasn't had to delete her social media or deal with similar pressures to her teammates, it's dismissive and unfair. What speaks volumes is that Jemele Hill has since deleted that post, which clearly shows she knows she was wrong for making such an assumption. Caitlin's choice to handle this privately doesn't mean her experiences are any less valid. It means she chose a different way to cope, and that decision deserves respect. Public figures shouldn't have to broadcast their pain for it to be acknowledged or validated. And let me be clear, this is not about comparing struggles or playing oppression Olympics. It's about acknowledging that no player should have to endure threats or harassment, period. Whether it's Angel Reese, Aliyah Boston, or Caitlin Clark, we need to stand up and condemn this kind of behavior every single time. Safety shouldn't be contingent on who's in the spotlight or whose narrative fits the media's agenda. The focus should always be on supporting players and ensuring that they feel protected in their careers and lives. The very idea that any player could be subjected to such terrifying behavior without an immediate and unified outcry is a failure on all of our parts. What's even more disappointing is the lack of a strong and immediate response from the WNBA and the WNBPA. This league has positioned itself as one that advocates for social justice and player safety. But where is the statement condemning this incident? Where is the solidarity for Caitlin? If the league wants to be taken seriously as a place that protects and empowers its players, then it has to show up in moments like this. The silence is deafening and it's unacceptable. The league's commitment to player safety must be consistent and vocal, and this is a glaring example of a missed opportunity to show that commitment. Without a strong response, the league risks undermining its own values and credibility. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark or one isolated incident. This is about creating an environment where players feel safe and supported, on and off the court. The WNBA and its media allies need to recognize the weight of this situation and respond with the same vigor and outrage they've shown in other cases. Because when we don't address these issues consistently, we're sending a message that some players' safety matters more than others. And that's not the league the WNBA claims to be. If we want to create a culture where players truly feel safe, then every single threat and every single incident of harassment must be met with strong, unwavering condemnation. No exceptions, no delays, no excuses. For the media members out there who have been vocal about protecting players in the past, this is your moment to step up again. Condemn this strongly. Call it out loudly, just like you did for Angel Reese, Dejounte Carrington, and Aliyah Boston. Consistency is everything. Don't let Caitlyn's decision to stay private about her struggles be a reason to downplay the severity of what happened to her. The responsibility of the media is to be fair and to ensure that every player's story is treated with the same level of respect and urgency. The silence from some corners of the media speaks volumes, and it's time to change that narrative. And for those who have dismissed Caitlyn's experience because she doesn't publicly talk about it, ask yourself, why does someone have to share their trauma for it to be taken seriously? Her silence wasn't an absence of pain, it was her way of handling a terrifying situation. Let's respect that and rally behind her, just as we would any other player facing this kind of threat. Trauma manifests differently for everyone, and the way Caitlyn chose to navigate hers is just as valid as anyone else's experience. Her strength and resilience in the face of such a horrifying ordeal should be applauded, not questioned or minimized. This man's actions were criminal, vile, and beyond unacceptable. He's facing up to 6 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, but the broader conversation needs to continue. What measures are being put in place to protect players from these kinds of threats? How are leagues and teams working to ensure their players feel safe? These are the questions we need to ask and the issues we need to address to prevent incidents like this from happening in the future. It's not enough to react after the fact. We need proactive solutions that prioritize player safety and well-being. As fans, media, and members of the basketball community, we all have a role to play. Let's demand better. Let's hold everyone accountable, from the league to the media to ourselves, to create a culture where no player, no woman has to fear for her safety just for doing her job. Caitlyn's experience is a wake-up call, and it's on all of us to respond appropriately and with urgency. Let's make this a turning point and ensure that no player has to go through what Caitlyn has endured. Thanks for tuning in to Hoops Talk Central. If you have thoughts on this topic, leave them in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going, and let's make sure Caitlin Clark and every other player in this league knows they're supported and protected. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next video.
There is no one like Caitlin Clark.
It's on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three. Has space. She's going to let it fly, and she's going to connect.
Right now, she leads the WNBA in assists.
Her passing is that dynamic. Her vision is that transcendent. I mean, her vision a lot of times, sometimes I think it reminds me of Sue Bird. Other times I think it reminds me of Wayne Gretzky, the way she sees the floor. Yep. It's just incredible.
You and I both said she's going to be good because she got two skill sets. She can score the basketball and she can assist the basketball. So if one is not going, the other one will.
She has scored or assisted on more points than any other player this season.
If you are out here denying how brilliant she has been, you're just being dishonest.
She's already set the all-time rookie assist record. Her ability to be able to find the open person, it's something that you're born with. This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
We're going to be debating more so where she falls into the all-WNBA conversation if she keeps playing like this.
And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with?